All right, so let's start this broadcast with a big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. And this, of course, has got to do with the Munich Security Conference, which is presently underway. The key focus at Munich is, of course, the Russian invasion into Ukraine and the support that the Western allies are giving to Ukraine. The key speakers today will include the American Vice President Kamala Harris, the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, amongst others. And they are expected to highlight their country's position in the world. Now, Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister, is likely to call for a new NATO charter to ensure lasting peace in Ukraine. Last year, Britain had provided military aid to the tune of about £2.3 billion, including armoured vehicles, anti-tank missiles and also a pledge for battle tanks. The United Kingdom has committed to matching or even exceeding that level of support in 2023. Now, some of the key topics that are expected to be discussed at the summit are the visions for Iran, the position of China in the world, the prospects for Afghanistan, and also Ukraine and Russia. All right, let's now cut across to what is unfolding in the Munich Security Conference, where Ursula von der Leyen, we're given to understand, is addressing the audience. Let's listen in to what she has to say.
Crisis, what they are concerned. For us, it's important that our work together, for example, with the Global South, with Africa, is intensified on investment in infrastructure to have renewable energy, to produce, for example, green hydrogen. We're working now with the other side of the Mediterranean exactly on that one. So the big paradox of this conflict is if there's an accelerator for the European Green Deal and for global infrastructure in renewable energy, then it's Putin and with his atrocious war.
Yes.
Alex Sikorski, member of the European Parliament. My question is to the President of the Council, of the Commission, of course. We were lucky that the United States had Joe Biden as president when Putin invaded, and that they took the lead on helping Ukraine. But next time, they may be otherwise engaged in the Far East. Thank you for your leadership in using Europe's small defense budget for supplying Ukraine. But shouldn't that defense budget and Europe's military capability be much bigger in the future?
I think we have to invest more in defense without any question. But your insinuation that it might be possible that we cannot so much work together with our transatlantic friends. It was very reassuring. Yesterday I had a panel with Mitch McConnell, and it was good to hear that he was very clear about the commitment of the whole of the United States to support Ukraine and to fight side by side with us for the defense of our values, without any question. What our defense capabilities are concerned, of course it's sovereign decisions of the member states, but indeed we have progressed a lot in the European Union with harmonizing of the approach to the defense capabilities is concerned. It has very weird names, acronyms like PESCO, like CARD, you name it, but this is good. Thanks God we have it in place. We can build on that one. But yes, the emphasis has to be on a stronger defense posture.
Prime Minister Marin, do you think your country, your people, your policies, because it's you who have to do that, it's each country that has to decide, right? Are you ready? Because we heard that the peace dividend, we're out of that time now. Your defense budgets have to be ramped up.
Well, actually, Finland has always invested heavily on defense because we are a next-door neighbor to Russia. We are already using up to 2% of our budget to defense, and we will increase this even more so because we want to be prepared. And actually, when we look back to this war and the energy crisis that we are in, Finland already diversified our energy mix way before the war because we have aggressive neighbor, and we don't want that kind of dependencies that many other countries have had. I understand the logic, and it's very logical to build those very close economic connections and ties to try to make sure that the war wouldn't happen, because we have such a close ties. It would be so costly that we couldn't then see these kind of devastating things happening. But this wasn't the case because the authoritarian regimes, they think differently. And in the future, we have to be more prepared also when it comes, for example, new technologies. And I totally agree. I think United States, they will look towards Asia even more so in the future. And we have to make sure that we are not dependent on those critical matters that we are too dependent now. During the pandemic, we were too dependent on medicine, we were too dependent on medical equipment. On the energy crisis, we are too dependent on Russian fossil fuels. Luckily and thankfully, we have done very much to get rid of those connections. But in the future, the big issue will be new technologies. Technologies, know-how, knowledge. So we have to also invest in our education system, the know-how, the knowledge base, and new technologies that we are not dependent on authoritarian countries from the East, because there might be dark clouds also in that direction. And if we have...
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.